Welcome back, everybody, to another Agent Call review. As I say in every review, this is something that everybody should have their mentor do for them. Always keep in mind that whether it's a good call or a bad call, you have to know what you're doing wrong and what you're doing right to always consistently do what's right. If you're new here, I am Ryan Valet, the Fexpert. I try to do these every week to give everyone an idea what it's like to listen to your own calls, listen to somebody else, making mistakes, doing the right things. It's something I honestly wish I had whenever I was first starting out as an agent. Always remember, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence isn't an act, it's a habit. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, drop a comment down below what you thought of the call. Let's do it.
Hey, I'm getting back to you about a request you filled out. Looks like you were looking into your options for final expenses.
Yes,
Okay, great. I've got your zip code set for is that correct?
that's correct.
And it looks like you wanted to name your son as your beneficiary if you find the policy, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. Just needed to verify those two things. Um, Once again, my name is with. I do want to let you know that we're on a recorded call here today. Okay?
Okay,
All right, great. So just a couple of quick questions. I'm going to see what kind of discounts are available to you, find policies that you qualify for.
mm-hmm.
Do you have anything in place currently to cover those bills when you die? Life insurance, money set aside, gold buried in the backyard, anything like that?
No.
No? Okay. Have you had insurance in the past? A policy that expired or you had to let go?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Long time ago? Okay. But nothing very recently. I understand. Okay. Have you been since you filled this form out? I assume that you've been looking around trying to find something. Is that correct?
Yes.
Have you talked to any other agents, or is this your first chance to do so?
Yeah, that's fine.
First time? Okay. It can be very confusing, so if there's anything I can do to explain something, please stop me if I go too fast. I want to make sure that you've got all the information. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So if you missed it earlier, my last name's, I'm a licensed broker here in the state of Arkansas. Looks like there's about, I'm going to say about 40 different companies that do business in Arkansas. Okay?
Okay.
Now I don't work for any of those companies. I'm licensed through the state to work as an advocate for you. So puts me on the same team. I don't work for the insurance companies. All right? But
Okay.
we're going to find what we can get you qualified for, get you the absolute lowest price. All right. What's going on right now that you decided to start looking for life insurance? Has there been a death in the family, an illness, or just decided it's time?
Yeah, it's I've been with a lot of family.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That always gets people's attention, and they know that they need to take care of things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, understand. Have you given any thought as to what your funeral is going to look like? Are you leaning towards a burial, a cremation? Have you given it any thought?
Either one, uh, burial or cremation. That's,
Well,
but I look on uh, burial.
okay, okay, all right. So we want to make sure that we got enough to cover that. You don't want to leave that bill behind for your family, for your son, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. For most folks to end up with a bill that's $10,000 or so, that's pretty devastating. That's not something most people can just pull out of a hat, right? So
Yeah.
we'll make sure that we get your son covered there. So let me put in a little information. What's your birthday? Okay. So you're 71 years old, right?
Correct.
And I've got you at pounds.
Correct.
Okay, great, great. Are you a smoker?
No.
Okay, perfect. That helps. Now, when it comes to these policies, budget is going to be the most important thing. Most of the folks that I work with are on fixed incomes. Now,
Okay.
at 71, you're receiving Social Security, I assume, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, do they put that directly into the bank for you, or do they put that onto a debit card?
It's goes the retirement is from my country.
Okay. Okay. So you keep a regular bank account?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. There's extra discounts for using your bank. That's why I asked that. Okay?
Okay.
Now, um, what do you think you could reasonably afford each month for insurance? We don't want to take money off your table, but we want to make sure that we're looking in the right area here. So what's affordable to you? Are you thinking $100 a month? Are you thinking $80 a month? 60? What would work for you? We'll start there and then we can always change it from that.
You asking how much I can afford to pay that insurance, or?
Yeah, how much you could afford each month. You don't have to pay anything today.
I don't know, because I have to look at your plan.
Oh, sure, of course. But I want to find a plan that's going to be in your budget. Yeah. Okay, let's take a look, see what we can find, and we'll can figure out the numbers from there. Okay. First thing is to get
Okay.
you qualified. All right.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you a few real broad health questions. All right.
Okay.
Okay, so far so good actually. A lot of I would say really good questions, some different ways to put things, and it's always great to kind of make it your own. Now, I do want to add a few things here. One of the big things that I noticed is the client wasn't very engaged. Now, I don't know that there's a whole lot you can do with this client because he doesn't sound like he's going to get very engaged. However, the one of the suggestions that could potentially help, but I would recommend doing this no matter who you're talking to, and that is for this agent, I would recommend to not ask so many questions within one question, right? He just put multiple questions within a question. The problem with that is one, it kind of keeps the client from engaging with you. But two, you kind of don't know what question they're answering sometimes. This guy is just answering one question, one word answers. And when you're getting somebody who's doing that, they're probably only just wanting a quote. So you've got to work harder to draw them in and let them know that you're really trying to make sure that they get the best. So, like I said, some really, really good questions. Nothing out of the ordinary that I would say never ask. I would add in there, I always recommend. So, roughly how long have you been looking? Even if they've had a plan in place before, even if they have say that they've talked to a couple different agents, it's always important to know how long they've been looking. Because oftentimes, if someone's been looking for 6 months or a year, that means there's something specific keeping them from moving forward. Sounds to me like this guy's issue is probably going to be the price, but who knows? I said this on last week's call. I'm going to say it again on this one. It's really important to ask, have you ever used any nicotine, tobacco, marijuana products? The reason why that's so important is you really want to know if they've ever smoked. Because oftentimes, if these people have been looking for a while, they've got COPD and certain carriers won't accept that. So it's just really important to make sure that you know the full extent. Although it may not keep somebody from getting approved, it's really important to know the full story. So I don't know if this is actually going to come up and be an issue, but I would actually compliment the agent on how he asked, do you have a bank account or does it go to a direct express card? Go back and listen to that. I don't ask it that way, but it was actually really good. Heck, I would even change the way I say it to say it that way. The only thing that I noticed is he said it comes in from his country. So you want to, I would say yes, meaning that comes from his country into a bank here in the States, most likely. But you don't want to assume things like that. You don't want to assume that he's just got money coming in and it'll be easy to make an exchange or whatever it may be. You never know. You could find out that he's only got a bank account in his country and some weird thing, right? So you want to that is an answer you truly want to get. So that would be something I would dig more into. Now, one last thing here before we go back to the call. He started talking about budget and asking the client what was affordable and everything, and the client was kind of pushing back on, well, I need to know your plans. Almost everybody thinks that that's the way to go. What I would recommend the agent to do in this case is, hey, look, I completely understand you want to get a certain amount of coverage. However, all life insurance is based on age and health. There is nothing you and I can do to change your age. That's where it all starts. So that's why your budget is so important. And I want to make sure that you can afford this monthly. If you can't afford it in 6 months and have to let it go, then we're just spinning our wheels, right? And wait for them to actually acknowledge that. It's just, I would give a little bit more time for a good, solid response because, again, this client is not very engaged.
Do you know the difference between whole life and term insurance? It's kind of
No.
confusing. Okay. So
What is the difference?
yeah, so term insurance is a insurance that terminates. It runs for a few years, then it quits. Okay? Then
Okay.
you start over, and now you're older, you're not as in good a health, and the price jumps way up. What we're going to look at is whole life insurance. The benefits
Okay.
of it is that it never expires. Price never goes up, regardless how long you live or how ill you become. That price is locked in at today's rates.
Okay.
They can never cancel you for getting ill or for getting old. Once they accept you, you're in. Okay?
Okay.
It's the way to go once we get up in age into our 50s, 60s, 70s. All right? So do you happen to have a paper and pencil handy? I want to give you a bunch of figures. I want you to write them down so that we're clear.
Now, my name is Menachem.
Okay. Okay. Do you want to write these down?
Let me get my.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So write down on your paper, write down 8,000 and then
8,000
8,000 and then write down 10,000 and also
and
and then 12,000.
8, 10, and 12. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what I found is insurance that goes into effect immediately. As soon as you take the policy out, you're covered. There's no waiting period or anything like that. So for the $12,000 policy, that comes in just under $100 a month, $99.88.
Okay.
Okay. The 10,000 comes in at $84 a month.
84. Okay.
Uh-huh. And the 8,000 would be $68 a month. Okay? So
Okay.
we got 68, we got 84, and we've got 100. Now, most traditional burials run around $9,000. Okay?
Okay.
So based on these amounts, if you want to leave a little something behind, you got to go 10, 12,000. Otherwise, the 8,000 pretty much covers the burial.
Mm-hmm.
Which of those do you feel would work best for you? Now, keep in mind, this is a monthly payment. We don't want to pay on it for 6 months and then have to get rid of it because then you've just spent 6 months worth of payments for nothing. So we definitely want to get something you know that you can handle.
Then I go for 10.
The 10,000 for $84 a month, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Actual price is $83.93. Okay, I just rounded it up 7 cents. Okay. So the next step is to get you qualified for this. So we'll do an application right here over the phone. Only takes about 5 minutes or so. Couple of things they're going to ask for. They're going to ask
Mhm.
for a social security number, and they're going to ask for your banking information, your routing and account number. Would you have those things available to you today?
Uh, the pen I don't have, but I have only the what Social Security.
Okay. You have the social security number? You have a social security number, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. But the banking information you don't have available to you?
No, I do not have those.
Okay. Okay.
Do I need to pay with my uh bank account or different?
You have to do it with your bank account. Yeah, they set it up directly with your bank, and then they'll draw it right from there. They usually set it up the same day that your money comes in, your pension or your Social Security or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you ever write checks, paper checks?
No.
Okay. I was going to say that's those numbers across the bottom of a check. That's what they're looking for. If you have a bank statement, your account number may be on there, and I can find the routing number, so that's not a problem. Would you have a bank statement that's got an account number on it?
So I have because I'm not I'm somewhere else and not
Okay.
at home.
Not at home? Okay. Okay. Well, how about this? Why don't I reach back out to you when you're going to be home, when you have access to those things, and then we can get you qualified and get this put in place for you.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
When will you be back home? When's a good time to reach you?
uh, I I'll sit around 5 o'clock. What time you guys is closed?
Well, we can call you at whatever time. Would tomorrow be better during the
Oh
daytime?
yeah, that would
Let's
that
okay.
would be better.
Okay. About what time of the day do you want me to reach out? About this same time? About 2 o'clock?
2 o'clock now. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
All right. I'll certainly do that. I'll certainly do that. Let me get your address though as well, so that I can make sure that I get part of the application and things filled out, just to make it a little bit easier for us tomorrow. What's your mailing address? What's the name of the street?
All right, so we're gonna cut it off there. I gotta give the agent props. Again, maybe some little different ways that I would approach a couple of situations, but really not bad at all. He followed the script very well, nailed the parts, made it his own in some areas, and that's perfectly fine. We all have different ways of doing things. The one thing here at the end that I'll kind of point out is whenever he started talking about the amounts. He was talking about 6,000, 8,000, 10,000, and 8,000 being enough for the burial. I would absolutely recommend staying away from that because that can kind of pigeonhole you. Essentially, it makes the client think that that's all they need. And look, it's perfectly fine if that's what they want, if that's what they can afford. And in this case, the guy was like, I think I'll go with the 10,000, so he was lucky that it didn't. And as a standard practice, I would recommend not pointing out that, well, that would be enough, because then sometimes you talk somebody into a little less. And the best way to do it is, hey, look, is just explain to him again, hey, look, I want this to be 100% comfortable. And I want you to know that, look, no matter what we get today, we can always add to it later. and I'll be your agent for life. So I'll always be here if you want to add to it. That would be how I would approach it and just let them pick. So another thing, I have to compliment him on getting or asking the social security and banking question. Hey, look, there's two key pieces of information that they're going to need, your social and your bank. This call is a perfect example as to why. The last thing you want is to have 20 pending applications setting out there. Some carriers do not like that. They actually look at that as a negative. So you want to make sure that whoever you're talking to has access to that information. Now, I get it. Sometimes people tell you they do, and then they come up with a reason why they don't. But the majority of people, you'll be able to gauge their seriousness whenever you ask that, or their honesty as far as moving forward with an application. So the reason why this is a perfect example is because the guy told him he doesn't have it. He's not at home right now. Knowing that ahead of time saved him from going all the way through an application and then getting stuck at the banking. So the other thing that actually helps with that also is he didn't spend an extra 10 minutes trying to get to that point only for the client to wind up backing out. So though that 10 minutes of going through the application could be 10 minutes talking to another client and potentially getting them to a sale. Remember, the more calls, the more people you talk to, the closer you are to a sale. Okay, perfect. Again, I want to give the agent kudos on this call. Did really good in almost every area, and when it comes down to it, I highly recommend that you guys have your mentors do this for you. If you don't have a mentor that'll do it for you, listen to me every week when I do these calls. I'm telling you, it will improve your ability to conversate with people, know which areas you need to work on, and hear people who are doing it right. And then again, sometimes whenever people are saying something wrong, sometimes you hear things on the internet and it sounds good, but then you implement it, it doesn't work, and you can't figure out why. Me doing these calls will help you through those situations. So again, guys, do me a favor, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I appreciate any love. It means a lot. It's a small channel right now, but we are growing fast. So like I said, any support and help is greatly appreciated. See you guys in the next one. Subscribe now to be a Fexpert. Do it.